Aloha, I'm Kiana Cayabyab, and you're watching Star News Live. Here are today's top Hawaii headlines from the editors at the Honolulu Star-Advertiser. Hawaii is on track to remain under coronavirus restrictions until October if the pace of vaccinations does not pick up. Governor David Ige announced Friday that the state would drop all of its COVID restrictions once 70% of Hawaii residents have been fully vaccinated. He also announced a new incentive program that offers prizes and discounts to residents who get vaccinated. At its peak in April, Hawaii was vaccinating more than 30,000 people a day, but that number has plummeted to over 3,000 a day in recent weeks. Currently, 54% of all residents are vaccinated. At the current pace of vaccinations, the state would not hit Ige's 70% benchmark until mid-October. By comparison, the majority of states have dropped restrictions, and most of the country is expected to be back to normal by the 4th of July. Hawaii health officials reported 46 additional coronavirus infections today, bringing the state's total since the start of the pandemic to 36,731 cases. There were no new fatalities reported today, so the state's virus-related death toll remains at 505. Today's new infection cases include 17 each on Oahu and Maui, 5 on the Big Island, and 7 Hawaii residents diagnosed outside of the state. State officials counted 3 additional COVID hospitalizations today, but Hawaii continues to have one of the lowest hospitalization rates in the country. As of Tuesday, there were just 29 COVID patients in Hawaii hospitals, with 10 in intensive care beds and 6 on ventilators. Health officials also reported that 700 COVID infections are considered to be currently active. Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam was locked down for about 4 hours Tuesday after bomb threats were called into the base. Officials told the Star-Advertiser that 2 calls to the base claimed that there was an explosive device on the USS William P. Lawrence in Dry Dock Number 4 of the Pearl Harbor shipyard. The base was placed on lockdown and a shelter-in-place order was given at about 9:40 a.m. Tours were suspended at the USS Arizona Memorial and the Pearl Harbor Aviation Museum during the investigation. The lockdown also affected summer classes at 2 public elementary schools on the base. At about 1:30 p.m., the all clear was given after no explosive device was found on board the ship. Honolulu police have arrested a 27-year-old suspect who was shot by officers last month after he allegedly crashed into vehicles and pointed a handgun at officers. Dion Kitzmiller was arrested in the Queens Medical Center on Monday in connection with the May 25th incident when officers were trying to arrest him for outstanding warrants in Kalihi. Kitzmiller had been charged Friday with 5 counts of criminal property damage, 2 firearm counts, and 1 count of reckless endangering. Officers shot and critically wounded Kitzmiller on May 25th after he allegedly pointed a handgun at officers who were trying to arrest him for 2 outstanding warrants. The warrants were for abuse of a family or household member, terroristic threatening, and firearm offenses. Kitzmiller remains in Queens Hospital today. Finally, Hawaii Island police are investigating a possible drowning in South Kohala after an unresponsive man was found in waters off of Anaiho'omalu Bay on Tuesday. The man has been identified as Harry Wakefield, 68, of Alabama. Police and the Hawaii Fire Department medics responded to a call from a charter snorkeling boat about an unresponsive man who was pulled out of the water near the Waikoloa Beach Resort area. Medics performed CPR and Wakefield was taken to Queens North Hawaii Community Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. An autopsy is scheduled to be performed to determine the exact cause of death. Today we're highlighting local business Sweet Enemy Clothing with owner Drew Honda, where he tells us about his story as a former UH alum turned business owner. Check it out. Aloha Hawaii, I'm here to visit Drew Honda, the owner of Sweet Enemy Clothing, located on the corner of McCully and King Street. So let's see what the world's sweetest garden has to offer. Now with Drew Honda, the owner of Sweet Enemy Clothing. He's also a Kamehameha Kapaa Lama fellow graduate. I was a freshman when he was a senior. So wow. Drew, tell us a little bit about Sweet Enemy Clothing, how did the name come about, and the business in general.
Yeah, so Sweet Enemy Clothing is a brand I made in honor of my grandma, her name being Rose. We metaphorically and visually a rose being sweet, and the enemies like the thorns, the hurt and pain we go through when we lose someone in our lives. I started the brand in 2013, and unfortunately we lost her in 2012. But as the brand grew, you know, this brand was kind of not only in honor of her, but in honor of all those who aren't here with us today.
That's so sweet.
Thank you.
Sweet Enemy Clothing.
Yeah.
For the full interview, head to the Honolulu Star-Advertiser's Facebook and YouTube page. For more on these stories and all the latest headlines, subscribe to the Honolulu Star-Advertiser. Visit Hawaii's top source for breaking news online at Star-Advertiser.com and download the Star-Advertiser mobile app. Mahalo, have a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.